So at first, when you remember at the death of Charlie Kirk, and then now immediately is when different people are looking into it, what exactly happened. Around that time is when also Candace got on air, and she began to do the series that now she's always just been doing around Charlie Kirk. And we all thought that that was actually it was a very good thing that she was doing. It was all after a very, very good cause. But as everything is progressing, because the question I've always been asking is that of all these allegations she's raising, all these questions, all this investigation looks like she's doing, why hasn't any of these things that she has come up with, why hasn't any of these things been of help to the case, or rather the investigation behind the death of Charlie Kirk? There's nothing that has been of substance, or rather of help to that case itself. And then also it raises the questions about investigations, how investigations are being conducted. Are investigations nowadays being conducted on the internet? Is that the way investigations are being done? Or rather, what exactly was the motive behind all these things? That is the question, because she really went hard on Erica. She went hard on Turning Point. She went hard on so many different things. She got to speak about these. There's another video where she gets to speak about the third eye, Charlie being part of the third eye. She got to reveal a lot of different things. But the main question, you know, sometimes it is always good sometimes to just pause back and ask yourself, okay, why? What is the main intention for this? So there's this preacher here. He goes by the name of Pastor Graham. So Pastor Graham has been a very close friend to Charlie Kirk for quite some time. He's getting to show that on this video. You'll be able to see, because he's showing receipts as well. Receipts in terms of just to be able to showcase of how close they were to each other, and also even when Charlie Kirk was beginning everything, how he was also a part of it. So he's getting to share that. But now his angle about what Candace has been doing and the information that she has been sharing, he has a very different idea of everything that we have been seeing. He's revealing also some very dark secrets about Candace, you know, and it raises a lot of questions. That's why also in the video I've included a certain prophecy, because there's a prophecy that was given the year 2024 by Celestial, and in the prophecy itself was not about Candace. It wasn't a full prophecy about Candace. But within that prophecy, there's just a segment where she dropped a word of what God had shared to her concerning Candace Owens. And in that prophecy, you'll get to hear it later in the video. But when I was just checking and looking at that prophecy and what everything is coming out right now, the way he's coming out, it looks like that prophecy is actually in motion right now. It looks like it's happening, but you'll be able to see it as well, and we can have a talk about it. So let me know once you join in on the live. Let me know where you are watching from before we get in on the video, because this one is a very serious video. This one is going to be a very serious video, because what this preacher is sharing here concerning Candace Owens is very alarming. But what I love is that he has gotten to share receipts just for us to be able to understand who he is, where he's coming from, and why even we should actually get to listen to him. So I love that he is going to share those receipts, because it definitely builds confidence. So let me know where you are watching from. Let me know in the comment section, where are you watching from? Just before we get on the video, let me know where you are watching from. And also, when you join, go ahead also and like the video, so that YouTube can be able to share these with others as well. Once you like the video, YouTube will be able to share with others, and they can be aware that we are actually live. So go ahead and like the video as well. So let me know where you are watching from. Yeah, just before we get to go on the live here, let me know where you are watching from. Yeah, so let's get in the video here.
Time that people know the truth. And it also is not lost on me that the Canaanites, the cult followers of Candace Owens, nothing I say is going to change your mind. And that's fine. Why am I doing this? Because there's a lot of people that I have shared the stage with, that I have fought for this country and our faith for a decade, that have remained silent. While Erica is attacked, while Charlie's children are attacked, while this woman tries to single-handedly tear down everything that my friend Charlie stood for, you remain silent. In cowardice, remain silent. In cowardice. And that's okay, I understand. Because as we'll show the audience here in a minute, this is why you're afraid. And maybe some of you have skeletons that you don't want Candace Owens to find out about. Okay, fine. If I got to take the bullets, I will. If this ends my career, then so be it. But if it sparks others to start combating her obvious vindictive, evil agenda and her obvious lies, then it was well worth it. Brandon Tatum, Benny
yeah, so he has decided to put everything on the line. He's decided to put his career on the line. He's decided to put, if that means he's going to lose a few friends, because from what he's about to share, it will suggest that his friends might also be some of Candace Owens' friends as well. So this preacher has gone ahead and put everything on the line. He's willing to lose all this for the sake of the truth to come out. That is the truth of this thing. Everything that we have been seeing Candace talking about this, talking about Erica, talking about the family that Charlie left behind. She has been very vocal about this, with us not having a clear idea about what her intention is. You know, sometimes you get on air, you talk about these things, but what is your intention? What do you want to really put across? What is it? What is it for you? What is it for the people who are your audience? So that one has never been clear. I see Jerry saying he's watching all the way from Florida. Let me know where you are watching from once you join on the live, and then go ahead and like the video, so that YouTube can be able to share this with others as well, so that others can be aware that we are live. In case you're not yet subscribed, do so. I'm always live every day from Monday to Friday, so you can just subscribe and then switch on the notification bell on. I always get to speak about eye-opening conversations, so which I believe is very beneficial at this time and at this hour. The Bible speaks about the last days. The Bible speaks about these times being very, very trying times. So it's of benefit for all of us to be with such kind of videos that are eye-opening, so that we cannot end up deceived. You know, I always say, if I don't upload, someone remains deceived. So that is the whole purpose of everything on this platform. So go ahead, subscribe. We're always live here Mondays to Fridays. And then on the comment section, let me know where you're watching from, and also like the video. Let's pump up the likes. Let's take the likes up. Just click on the like button. Just click on the like button. The one that has the thumbs up, just click on it so that others can be aware that we are live and they can as well join it.
Evil agenda and her obvious lies, then it was well worth it. Brandon Tatum, Benny Johnson, all sitting together at a table before we all blew up to an extent that you know us now. I think we've got that one, Todd. If we can do that, we need to switch to the one of me and all of us sitting at the table. There you go. This was way back in the day. We all knew each other across the board. Now, Candace, me and Candace have known each other for a long time. This photo is back in the 3 Barstool days of the campus tours. There's Charlie, there's me, there's Candace. Back in the day when these tours weren't as popular as they are today, we were sitting in bar stools together and we were fighting this fight alongside each other. Here's some more pictures of Candace Owens with some of my children, with my wife. There's Candace, me, and my wife with my daughter. Here's another one of me and Candace and my wife. And then here's one of me, Charlie, Erica, and my wife together. So when I say all of these things, that I've known Candace Owens for well over a decade, I'm telling you the truth. And when I say that Candace Owens is not who you think that she is, that's what I mean. And Candace Owens.
Whoa. So he confirms the prophecy, because what Celestial got to speak about, and I'll share with you that clip later, is that she said that the prophecy that she got from God was that Candace is not who we think that she is. The preacher here confirms that he has actually gotten to know Candace Owens from way back. I believe this should be the year 2016. So those are so many years, probably approximately even a decade, getting to know her, getting to be close to her, getting to talk with her. So he's confirming that she is not who we think that she is. She's not that person.
And when I say that Candace Owens is not who you think that she is, that's what I mean. And Candace Owens' response is, keep your young kids away from Graham
So
Allen.
let me just give you a brief of this just before we get to check out this tweet. So there's a video that Pastor Graham did. So in the video, he was just asking the friends of Charlie Kirk why they have been silent, despite the widow, that is Erica, being attacked, the allegations and all these things. So he just called out and he was saying that there are people who know the truth, but they have chosen to remain silent. Yet this widow is in the hands of the internet. She's in the hands of Candace Owens, and people are just ripping her apart. So she was just trying to call people out that, hey, this is not the way to treat a widow. If Charlie was here, would you guys have still been silent? Will you guys, would you just allow this just to go on with you not showing any love or protection to the family? So that was what he said. He got to share that on his platforms. He was just calling out the friends. It wasn't a message directed to Candace Owens. But when Candace got to check out that message, it really didn't rub off with it never rubbed off well with her. So she decided to go on her ex account and call out this preacher here, this Pastor Graham. So you'll be very shocked at what actually Candace said about it.
And Candace Owens' response is, keep your young kids away from Graham Allen. No joke. My belief is that no man is capable of defending stuff like this that isn't himself perverted. But yet you defended Andrew Tate. But yet you literally had Harvey Weinstein on your show. But also, that right there is why so many big name people are afraid to call out Candace Owens. Because the truth of the matter is, there is no depth that is low enough that she will not go. I make a video saying I'm going to stand up for a widow and the orphans of Charlie Kirk, and I call out the cowards that were supposed friends of Charlie that are saying nothing. And Candace's response is, Graham Allen is a pedophile. No facts, no evidence, no nothing. In fact, I would argue to say that most people know that we're an adoptive family. So I've had my entire life ripped apart through investigations and everything, because any of you who have adopted a child, you know you can't just show up. So I would say that my background is cleaner than Candace Owens ever has been. In fact, I also hold a highest level top secret security clearance you possibly can have. My past and my background has been looked at every single stone. Can you say the same thing, Candace Owens? So to that accusation that is just not only slanderous, defaming, and libel, I simply say, are you sure about that? Because for you to make a statement like that, you better have something to back it up and prove it. My life through adoption, through working with the Pentagon, everything has been torn apart, upside down through lawyers, investigators, everything. My record is clean. Worst thing that's ever happened to me is a speeding ticket in my life. Because that's what I also...
So he goes ahead, calls out the friends of Charlie Kirk. And then Candace is not happy about it. She goes on her X account and calls out this preacher here, Pastor Graham. The allegations are that this guy, you need to keep your kids away from him. I want you to know that this is actually a preacher. This is a pastor. So for her to write such statements, definitely they could be very damaging. They could be. Because this is a preacher. You expect a preacher to be the one to protect people, kids, and everybody else. But rather, Candace is saying a different story. And Candace also has a following that is very loyal to her ideas as well. And there are people that know her as a very reputable figure. So according to Pastor Graham, is that is some of the plays that Candace actually does. If you get to say this about her, then she changes the card. She starts to call you things, this and that. Then that's why a lot of people look like, it seems like they are afraid to talk about even what is going on right now.
I want to bring up the fact through the rest of this is Candace Owens has been and always will be a raging leftist that has been a wolf in sheep's clothing for over a decade.
Whoa. Whoa. So I see Braun here is saying, MR.TEE saying she always backs her church. So maybe we'll have to wait and see if there's more to the claims that she just got to make concerning this preacher. Let's just wait and see if there's more to it.
Will be a raging leftist that has been a wolf in sheep's clothing for over a decade. The only difference you're seeing now is that now it's more money for her and more opportunity for her to let her inner leftist out. She also makes this allegation about me being on PragerU's payroll. You can see it here. His God is money. He is on the payroll of PragerU to influence people. Well, this is very interesting because you can look at PragerU's tax filings. They're a charity organization, so you can see every dollar of everything that goes out from PragerU. You won't find Graham Allen's name, but what you will find is Candace Owens' name. In fact, didn't they pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars? Because that's where your show got its start, correct? PragerU? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive that the only person in this conversation who's been on PragerU's payroll, as if that's this bad thing, but you think it is, so let's talk about it. The only person who's been on PragerU's payroll is you. Is you.
So there's a quite an interesting comment here. Let me just read this to you even as we progress on the video. I see Braun is saying, well, she's off for a week. And every time she's off, this is when they come out with these things. A lot of these pastors have been paid to be on their pulpit to bring her down, and it's being revealed. So according to Bond here is that this is actually an ongoing strategy that is being used right now. People are using the pulpit to be able to bring down Candace Owens. For real, this is not the first preacher that I'm looking at this year just alone calling her out. I've seen also other preachers, like there was one I saw, he did a whole segment, like you see the way they conduct services normally. That one, he did it differently. He had even some visitors come in, some very respected people as well. And they were sitting down just analyzing Candace Owens, analyzing her videos and everything. So according to Bonnie, saying that that is actually a strategy that is ongoing right now. But anyway, that is her opinion.
You are the only one. This is what Candace Owens does. She manufactures outrage. She manufactures rage. She manufactures character assassination because that's what she does. So those are the responses to the allegations. But now I feel that it is time to just tell the truth. Right? That's what Candace Owens says all the time. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to let the cat out of the bag. And that is Candace Owens this is the biggest kept secret inside the conservative movement. Candace Owens has been the biggest thorn in the side, diva, absolute nightmare wrecking ball to the entire conservative movement behind the scenes for the past decade. That's the truth. That's the truth. Anyone who's not on record in front of a camera, they'll tell you the truth. Every single person that has ever worked with Candace Owens that's not still being paid by Candace Owens or has an NDA with Candace Owens, they can't stand her. She's horrible. Treats people badly. She doesn't fulfill her commitments. All of it. In fact, let's start with the first thing. Turning Point USA, back in 2017, when she was like the thing for Turning Point USA. All right, let's go back. It's also known, again, the other biggest kept secrets out there is Candace Owens has morphed into everything that she feels she needs to be to make the most money that she can while she can do it. Everyone that has ever known Candace Owens, you see Jeremy Boring talking about this, everybody knows that Candace Owens cares about two things. And really, the divide between the first one and the second one is pretty big. 1 and 2. Number 1 is money. Candace Owens cares about money and money alone. You see, oftentimes when people accuse people of something, like she said, my God is money, that's normally projection of themselves. Again, Candace, I have said this on the show multiple times. I'm willing to show you my bank account if you're willing to show me yours. And what I can promise you is your bank account is far larger than mine. So for my God being money, I disagree. And many of you will comment and you'll say, Graham, this was Charlie at some point saw what was behind Candace Owens' eyes.
So that assumption there, that for you to show your bank account, and then if someone has probably a higher amount in their bank account, it suggests that their God is money. There's nothing like that. That's not how you discern things. You don't discern by checking things like that. That is not how it happens. You know, for someone to say that your God is money, what they're saying is that you are willing to do whatever. You're willing to do whatever. At the end of the day, you're just after a paycheck. You know, you can use fake things, you can do what, you're just after a paycheck. So it is not about the size of your bank account. That is not the way you discern such kind of things. So that one there, I just had to throw that in. So guys, let's go up and like this video. I see we have quite a number, but we don't have enough likes. So I want others as well to be able to join. So you can help me by just liking the video. Once you like the video, that's a way you're showing support on the platform and also on these broadcasts, because now others will be informed that we are live. So once you like it, YouTube will just let others know that we are live as well. And in case you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and do so. So let us pump up some likes, guys. Let's do it. Just do it. Let's do it. Just click on the like button right now, even as we progress.
Comment and you'll say, Graham, this was Charlie at some point saw what was behind Candace Owens' eyes. And all he wanted to do was figure out a way to appease her enough to not have her turn against Turning Point, because you're seeing what happens when Candace Owens decides she wants to destroy something, somebody, someone, some movement, whatever it may be. No one could stand her. But let's listen to what she has to say. So let's click the one on the right first. This is from her podcast, where she says the reason she left Turning Point USA is because Charlie lied to her about money. Let's click the one on the right, Todd, if it'll play.
I was resigning from my position as the communications director of Turning Point USA. Now, there has been a lot of public speculation as to what led to that decision. The media ran with it was anti-Semitism or some disagreement about Kanye West, but that wasn't true. None of that was true. The truth, and I think that you very well know what the truth is, because you were around for it, is that Charlie and I had a disagreement, which fractured my trust in him. He did something that he had never done before. He lied to my face about money. Now, in retrospect, I believe that the manner in which I discovered the lie might have been
That's it. That's all we need. Candace says on her show that she resigned because Charlie broke her trust and he lied to her about money. But then she goes on the Hodge Twins podcast and she says that she was, quote, gotten rid of. Let's play that.
To understand, like, when you do deals with Satan, like, he's not the creator. He is constantly trying to rebel against the creator, so he can't create. And so when these people get rid of people that are good and godly, Charlie got rid of me because I said, yeah, I know you can't just mass murder kids. Jennison's always wrong.
Charlie got rid of me because you just can't mass murder kids. So which one is it? Were you fired or were you let go? We all know the truth. You were fired. Just like you were let go from PragerU. So let's talk about other things that are weird. Erica wants to talk about the weirdness, or excuse me, Candace wants. But here's the thing that probably is going to end my career right now. And it's the thing that we're not supposed to say, and the part that allows you all to know that every single bit of this that Candace does is not because she believes in any of it. I know for a fact that the people that sell the ads for everyone, myself, other prominent people and things like that, they also sell for Candace Owens. It's not the sponsors per se, but the people that sell these individuals. It's almost like a war where the weapons are being sold to both sides to keep the war going, because there's millions of dollars on Candace Owens' side right now. So it doesn't matter how terrible she is. It doesn't matter how morally corrupt it may be or how terrible what she's doing is. There's millions of dollars in advertising for what Candace Owens is doing. So these agents and these things are saying, go, Candace, go. Keep going. Keep going deeper. Keep going bigger. And then you got people like me who are trying to fight back against it. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that information. I'm still trying to figure out.
So clearly here, he's just saying that the reason behind everything we have been looking at, everything we have been hearing, it is all about the money. And that gives me a suggestion, like it's like someone is taking advantage of a tragedy. You know, someone passed on, there's a widow here, and then someone wants to take advantage of this whole situation for them to enrich themselves. That is the idea that what this preacher is saying is actually rubbing off on me.
What I'm going to do with the information that the powers that be, because there's only so many people that sell so many ads, they're fueling both sides. It's disgusting, really. It's terrible. But let's keep going.
By the way, I want to say I'm not even the one doing this investigation. This has been all of us. I just have the platform, and this platform is not mine. I genuinely know that this is God's platform. And whenever he's done and has used it, I'll be off of this. If this is the reason why I have the top podcast, to just get to the bottom of this because it's reveals so much to us, then so be it.
Pause. 9 times out of 10, doing what God wants us to do doesn't lead to the top podcast. 9 times out of 10, doing what God wants us to do doesn't make us worldly successful. She points out in there again, maybe this is the reason why I have the top podcast to be able to do this. No, you have the top podcast because you engage in evil. You engage in the ways.
So right in the comment section, just let me with a Y, which will mean a yes, and an N, which will mean a no. Do you think that Candace Owens is actually doing God's work? Do you think Candace Owens is doing God's work? She's calling her podcast God Podcast. But you can hear the preacher claiming that this is just about the money, this is just about that. It has got nothing to do with God. And even he's saying that this is actually evil work. So do you think that Candace Owens is doing God's work? Just let me know with a Y, which that will mean a yes, and an N, which will mean a no. Later on in the video, we'll get to sum up and see what most of us think. What do you think?
World. Again, let me bring you back to the Bible verse that was sent to me by a very, very famous preacher, a very big name preacher, James 3:14 through 16. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. That is Candace Owens. That is Candace Owens. That is what she does. She is a wrecker of all things. And even Tucker Carlson, who I've had many disagreements with here lately, even Tucker Carlson perhaps is starting to turn against Candace Owens. Tucker Carlson has this to say about internet sleuths. Here you go. Play it.
Of what happened to him. And will we ever?
Of course, I don't know the answer. I never weigh in on it because I love his widow, Erica, and I'm sad to see. I'm sad to see so much of what's happened ever since, and I love Charlie, and so it's emotional for me, and so, but I will just say the responsibility for investigating crime goes to the civil authorities. In this case, the federal and state authorities. And so the internet is not in charge of investigating crime.
Pause. That is what I mean. That is a truth from Tucker Carlson, but it also is the way that many people go about this.
Owens is not who she pretends to be.
Yeah, so a lot was said in that clip. A lot was said in that clip. I just had to let it play out a bit. Just for me to get some of the comments here. First of all, on the question I got to ask Eve, what Candace has spoken about her podcast being God podcast. Is it God's podcast? So the answers I have here, actually the majority are saying no. It's a capital N. Like, it is not God's podcast the way she portrayed it to be. And then Asibon Pretty, there's a comment here saying these pastors all act the same, talk the same, and do this exact same things. After EJ pointed out about the three musketeers, I'm starting to see this pattern everywhere in these so-called pastors. So maybe Bon, if you could get in detail exactly, probably, because yes, maybe I choose to understand what you're saying, but concerning this preacher, what exactly do you think has really stood out for you that you feel might not be in line? So you can just let us know in the comment section. I'll get to read it as well. So then there's another post here. Let me just read this before I get to share with you this clip from Celestial. There's a post by Kirk'S. Kirk'S was saying, this not that one, there's another one. Let me see if I'll be able to get it. Yes, this one. Kirk'S was saying, Chris, I like your platform and have been following you for a while. However, I wouldn't take what Celestial says as anything prophetic. I know you follow this woman so closely, but she's not reliable. So first of all, thank you so much for being part of the platform, Kirk'S. I appreciate you. I love you. And in love, first of all, I don't follow this woman closely. I don't do that. I am just present. Let me just say I am present, and not only to her. I'm present. That's why even when Pastor Graham got to speak his side of truth, I can be able to share that with you today. So it is just that I am present. Just know I am present. That's the word. It's not about following anyone closely, because that is not what the word of God guides us. God guides us not to follow any person closely, because that's how also a lot of people have ended up in deception, because probably someone might be walking in truth today, but I cannot guarantee you that they'll still be walking in truth after the week ends, or rather in a new month. I can't guarantee you that. So my guarantee can just be that if we focus on Jesus, just the way the Bible says, and we walk close to the word, close with Jesus, that is the most reliable source ever. So first of all, I don't follow her closely. I am just present. Another thing is that you're saying you can't take anything from her as prophetic, and I respect that. That's your opinion about it. I respect it. But you see, if she calls what she shares online as prophecy, like for example, if someone says this is a prophetic message, so if I'm walking in respect just for them being a human being, is that I cannot disqualify it as not being prophecy. I can only disqualify it as not being prophecy if it does not come to pass. But if according to them what they're saying is that, this is prophecy, this is what God said, I wasn't there. You see, I wasn't there. I can just sit down and just wait and see what they said. Is it in line? Is it in line? Is it in line with scripture? And then is it going to happen the way they said it, or they were just trying to make noise? So basically that's it. But I just know that I appreciate you, but that is just that is just the main idea behind why I always get to share time after time such messages that are prophetic. And I'll call them prophetic because that is what the one delivering the message called them to be. You see? So I'll call it like that. I won't say it's something else and they said it's something else. So let's get on what Celestial God to speak about here in the year 2024, and let me know, is this in motion? Because it looks like it.
Owens is not who she pretends to be. God says that Candace Owens is not who she pretends to be. So he definitely says that she is also not who she purports to be. He says that Candace Owens is not who she says she is. She is not what she looks like, the Lord said, and she is not who she purports to be. That is all. Candace Owens is not who she says she is. She is not what she looks like, and she is not what she purports to be. That is just the three things the Lord told me. I did not press him on it. He has not given me any information since then. He also said the same thing concerning her on the 20th of September. So today's the 29th. That's 9 days. If the Lord was going to add anything in, he may want to add something in the future, but that is all he said about Candace Owens. She's not what she looks like. She's not what she purports to be, and she's not who you think she is. That is all. God says that Candace Owens is not who she pretends to be. So he definitely says that she is also not who she purports to be. He says that Candace Owens is not who she says she is. She is not what she looks like, the Lord said, and she is not who she purports to be. That is all. Candace Owens is not who she says she is. She is not what she looks like, and she is not what she purports to be. That is just the three things the Lord told me. I did not press him on it. He has not given me any information since then. He also said the same thing concerning her on the 20th of September. So today's the 29th. That's 9 days. If the Lord was going to add anything in, he may want to add something in the future, but that is all he said about Candace Owens. She's not what she looks like. She's not what she purports to be, and she's not who you think she is.
Yeah. So that was the warning right there in the year 2024. That was way before any of these things came out. That was way before any of these things came out. That was way before such a confirmation from this preacher who he says that actually he has gotten to know Candace Owens for quite a long time. Let me just show you this image here. This image here, you can see the preacher right there. You can see Candace Owens there, and also you can see Charlie Kirk. So this suggests that they actually go way back. This just suggests that they go way back. So the preacher right there, the one that has the hoodie. Is it shocking that the hoodie is written that baby lives matter? Is it shocking? Or probably that was what the event was about. I don't know. Why is it that his hoodie is written baby's lives matter? Then Candace is actually accusing him of saying that you need to keep babies away from him. Yo. Coming to think about it, why is his hoodie written baby lives matter? And then Candace is saying that you actually need to keep your kids away from this preacher here. Bon is saying Why does that have to be a bad prophecy? I don't get the question. I don't get the question. You're asking if the prophecy Celestial gave is a bad prophecy or a good prophecy. Is there someone who said it's a bad prophecy or some, I don't know, but because the prophecies was just like a warning, and it's actually a good warning, because if you look at it, our trust should just be on God, just the way the scripture says. We are not supposed to put trust in people, because people might really, really surprise you, you know. People might surprise you. Yeah, so that's the preacher right there. You can see Candace Owens and you can see Charlie Kirk. So that's the team. So go ahead, like the video, subscribe on the platform in case you haven't. Let me know in the comment section. Stays open. Let me know what you think about what has just been exposed on this video. So see you again tomorrow and stay blessed.